Thank you very much for inviting me to talk about the new Bausch & Lomb Looksmart IOL. It is, as you can see by the title, IOL for your daily range of vision. So what is meant by that? Let's have a look at it. Now we go through the presentation. Is where can we find the Looksmart IOL in this colorful world of IOLs? That's where you find it. I think it's in between a monofocal and an EDoF-Linse. It combines both advantages. For quick readers, this is a data sheet. We do have acrylic hydrophobic IOL, which has a 11mm diameter. It's a single piece IOL with 4 fixation points. What I especially do like about it, I do think that those 4 fixation points or 4-plate haptics, they are superior to C-loop haptics, especially when it comes to toric IOLs, as logically they have to be more stable. You have 2 variants, as you can see on your left-hand side. It's called the Looksmart, which has a UV and violet filters. And on the right-hand side, you see the Looksmart Crystal, which has an UV filter only. So this is about the optics. You have to have a closer look here because you will see later on during surgery, once the IOL is implanted, you don't have a fair chance to analyze or see the optics. Here you see that it starts in the periphery with a refractive aspheric surface. It's a non-diffractive IOL, so it was designed to create or produce less halo and glare and photopic phenomena in comparison to diffractive IOLs. Then in the middle you do have the elongated focus in the 2mm center with a combination of 4 and 6 orders of spherical aberration of opposite signs. I'll explain that in the next slide. And then you do have a patented transition zone. This zone is designed to take part of the 4 and 6 orders of spherical aberration management to the periphery from the center. So that's how Bausch & Lomb designed the optical design to have a good effect for good far and intermediate vision. They took the 4 and 6 order, higher order aberration, made a sign result on 6 order, put it on top the 4th order, and now we have an elongated photo. As easy as that. No, I have to confess, of course, I would never been able to design such an genius effect left away from producing it. So I'm just talking. This is how you implant the Looksmart. It is very easy as it comes in a preloaded shooter, as we said before. And you can see the implantation is really easy. In this case, I did take personally a Monarch shooter because I'm implanting a lot of different IOLs. So I concentrate myself on 2 shooters that are reliable personally to me. But I think the preloaded shooter from Bausch & Lomb also is an excellent product. This is just my personal preference. Here you can see the preloaded system as it looked like, and it's not different from others. It's very easy to use because it's completely preloaded. The most important thing of those IOLs is the defocus curve and the defocus capacity defined by the area under the curve, and this is what is interesting for clinicians as me. There might be a lot of theory behind it, but at the end it counts if the patient is happy and has a real optical benefit. Here you can see the IOL performance. It clearly has a higher defocus capacity than monofocal IOLs. It has an excellent defocus capacity without any correction, even in the first implantation that we have done. We use the IOL Master 700 and the Barrett formula if this is interesting for you. and also binocular best corrected, we had an excellent clinical defocus capacity that is for this kind of IOL really convincing. So let's take a different approach. I think you should know 13 years ago, we started to use EDoF IOLs in the blended vision mode, which we called the Dusseldorf formula. This Dusseldorf formula also applies to other typical EDoF IOLs if they are, and this is very important, if they have a refractive. It doesn't work at all with a diffractive design, because this way you just have more halo and glare and photopic sensation. That wouldn't be a good idea. So altogether, I think this is more than excellent, really excellent binocular defocus capacity for far intermediate. So, very easy to answer. Why are we preferring the Looksmart IOL over monofocal? Because the defocus curves, by its nature, is very target refraction forgiving. It has a high defocus capacity, the monofocal IOL. And what I can recommend to you as users, target refraction pearl, is the fact that you choose the IOL nearest to plus to emmetrope. So with the LuxSmart, I really think you can only win. There's nothing to lose. So another argument is, and that's why we want to extend the talk, is why do we prefer a LuxSmart or a multifocal IOLs? And as you can clearly see in this graph that have done by our physicist Dr. Hagen years ago, that the higher the near addition is, the higher the halo and glare and photopic. We all know patients who are constantly complaining about this halo and glare phenomena. So why do we prefer the Looksmart over a multifocal eye? Because the Looksmart has no photopic phenomena. It has no reduction of contrast, sensitivity, and reading ability in mesopic conditions. You don't have a waxy vision, you have no centration problems, and no problems with the visual axis, and it's pupil independent. So there is a lot to win with a multifocal IOL, that is right, but there's also a lot to lose, because the only thing you get more with a multifocal IOL is reading small print. You don't get it with the Dusseldorf formula and the LuxSmart IOL. So another good thing is, of course, if you don't have patients complaining, you have chair times. Another reason, and we all know about this, if you have to explant the multifocal IOL, it's not what you really want to do, what you prefer to do. It's nothing you love, and the number one reason for IOL explantation still is the multifocality of patients that can't get used and adapted to the photopic phenomena. On the other hand, of course, if you have a very good informed consent and talk about patients, about the photopic phenomena, many patients, they get along quite well with multifocal eyes. Not they don't get along only, but they're really happy about it. But the most important thing is the informed consent before surgery, and show your MRL patients a chart of halo and glare. So let them decide if they want to tolerate it and if they want to take the risk. Looking at the retreatment options, and if you compare the multifocal IOLs versus EDoF blended vision Dusseldorf formula, you can see in a glance that the EDoF blended vision Dusseldorf strategy really has a lot of advantages, because outliers, yes, can be treated both with multifocal and EDoF IOLs, but also here very important, if you implant multifocal IOLs, to our opinion, not only our opinion, to many refractive surgeons, you must be able to do a touch-up procedure with a LASIK or whatever, because you will have a failure rate for the target refraction of around 1%. And this one patient out of 100 has a real problem if you don't correct the target refraction with a touch-up procedure. But then if the patient says, I want to have better distance, I don't like the way I'm seeing now, you can't correct it with a multifocal IOL. Same with better reading or poor quality of vision. And complication management, of course, is much easier if you have the EDoF blended vision than with multifocal IOL. Why? If you do have a capsular rupture, there's no way. You cannot implant a multifocal IOL. So you have to implant a completely different optical principle than what you told the patient before. So our experience in implanting EDoF or enhanced monofocal IOLs for 13 years now, we do have three strategies. Number one is the target refraction is emmetropia. Then patients don't need glasses for intermediate, but still need. Strategy number two, if you take a target refraction in both eyes for a mini blended vision, which is a delta of minus 0.75 diopters, then not only to our belief, but also to publications, it becomes obvious that you need your reading glasses rarely. You don't need them all the time. If there's enough light, you might be able to read at least the newspapers and the headlines. The goal not to wear glasses, only to wear them for small print, then strategy number three, comes into place. Then you have to choose a target reflection of blended vision with a delta of minus 1.5 diopters in both eyes, and it is very important to tell the patient that the neuroadaptation time takes about 3 months. Then I adopted this neuroadaptation patients tolerate graph on the left-hand side from Dan Reinstein, as you can all see, who was a pioneering surgeon in this kind of surgery. And while he was developing the presbyon strategy in laser surgery, we developed the Dusseldorf formula, which is an IOL-based blended vision strategy. And I'm very happy why in 13 years and over 8,000 cases, I had only 3 retreatments to emmetropia. And I mean, that's a real success story if you imagine that 7,997 patients can read without glasses, don't wear glasses anymore. And those 3 patients who couldn't neuroadapt, we just did a retreatment to a mini monovision, and they were happy too. So that, I think, is a really great advantage of this kind of surgery. And neuroadaptation works was also proven by this very interesting publication I recommend to everybody. And after 13 years of watching this concept and using the concept and developing this concept, I did this kind of surgery to myself with a Presby EDoF-Smart Surf Trans PRK. That with the Smart Lux, we do have a very interesting IOL, which has a lot of effect and nearly no side effect. And there is a target refraction for everybody of those. So we are really convinced that the Smart Lux IOL is not only better, but also a safer approach in surgery. It's better than monofocal IOL because you have a high percentage of hitting the target refraction despite only a blended vision approach and a higher defocus capacity. And we also think it's better than multifocal IOL in most of the cases, because people do not have photopic phenomena, centration problems. It's a pupil-independent IOL, and you do have better retreatment options, so it's a better risk management IOL. Now, at the end, do we still implant multifocal IOLs in Dusseldorf? Yes, we do. There are around about 10% of our patients who don't drive cars at night. They don't want to have 2 different eyes in a blended vision mode, and they accept phenomena, and this is very important. That's why I was putting 2 exclamation marks behind that after having seen charts or haloing glare simulations. Very important. And also, of course, patients who ask for small print reading without glasses. This is not possible with a blended vision approach. Then you really have to choose IOLs. So, do you want to win and lose nothing? Give me, please, a good reason, arguments. Why not starting tomorrow to implant a Smart Lux IOL? I'm really deeply convinced of this kind of optical concept with IOLs. Thank you very much for your kind attention.